Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. The one recurring question that always pops on my forums is, well, how can you tell if you have a really good HDR television? Well, there's a couple of tests you can do that. Number one is to find a movie or to find a content that has scenes where there's a lot of dark areas and bright areas. This is how you test your black digital levels and your white bright levels, meaning your contrast. Another way of testing it is the color gamut. Find a scene where there's a lot of color. So basically, there's three different things you need to look for. You need to find a scene that has a dark area, a bright area, and colorful area in between. And I'm using the one example here with this movie. This is Prometheus. You can see that blue LED flashlight beaming right through. You can see the orange LED lights on the helmets. And you can sense a contrast ratio between the black digital levels and the white bright digital levels. And this is how you know that you got a really good 4K HDR TV. This is how you test your high dynamic range. This is how you can tell. Right here, for example, you can see the reflection of the light that's beaming onto her face. And you can see the reflection of the orange lights around her neck where the helmet is beaming through her hair, her brown reddish hair. So this is how you can tell whether you have a really good HDR television or don't. But also, you got to also make sure that you properly calibrate, that you properly adjust the picture settings on your HDR as well. You can't just simply buy a TV and turn it on and with its original presets expect the HDR to do its magic. This is why you have to adjust your HDR picture settings depending on what content you're watching. This is why I have HDR movie mode, and this is why I have game HDR mode, and why I have cable television mode. You have to have these three different presets. But here I'm going to play the entire scene so you guys can see it in its entirety. It's a repeat looped scene that I put here. And clearly you can see the reflections of the light, the yellow-orange light around their neck. And this is where HDR does its magic. This is just one simple look. It doesn't have to be this movie. It could be many different other movies out there. There's tons of different movies that you can choose from. Like I said, Lucy is the one example. Then you have The Avengers, Infinity War is another great example of the HDR. There's a tons of 4K HDR movies and content out there. Batman, the movie, Lego, the movie, HDR version looks fantastic. I mean, there's tons of content you can use to test to see how good is your HDR. But this is just one little tiny example, me showing you as to how you can tell if you have a good HDR on your TV. Don't forget, not every TV is going to give out the great HDR. If you have an entry-level television that doesn't have that local dimming zones in a higher number as some other TVs, or if you have a TV that doesn't have a good color gamut that's measured in DCI-P3 with a higher percentage of spectrum colors, if you don't have that, and if you don't have a high peak brightness on the TV, meaning higher lumens brightness of the LEDs, then don't expect the HDR to be that great. It also depends on the TV as well, obviously. But still, you have to tweak your picture settings. You can't just expect everything to magically happen. But this is just one little tiny video I wanted to do just to show you a little tiny test here, just to give you a little tips on what I look for when I am checking the HDR. I look for deep dark level scenes. I look for white. So basically, you need a scene that has dark uh, background and then white bright lights within that dark background, along with some colorful lights like you see here in this scene. And I'm choosing this scene for that example. All right, well, there you have it, guys. Just a little short video. Thank you for watching.